Starting off with the Milani No Pore Zone Mattifying Primer. Chef's kiss, you guys. At Target, great drugstore brand. I think I like Melania, or is it? Yeah, Milani. Sorry, I think I like Milani. I like their setting sprays. I like their primer. You know, so far they're turning out to be a good like face prep type of drugstore makeup brand. I don't know if that makes sense, but basically for anything to like prep the skin, set the makeup, they're really good for like the go-to. You know how Juvia's Place is good for pigmentation? That, but for like skin prep. But before we get too deep and lost in the sauce of the makeup routine, mind you, this is going to be a very quick makeup routine. Like I have like maybe 20 minutes to get ready and go meet my friends. We're going to go to Barnes & Noble. But before we get too deep into it and lost in the process, I did want to come on here and kind of do like a reintroduce myself. My name is Cheyenne Marie, and I've been on and off on YouTube for about 7 years now, because I think I started in like 2018. So for about 7 years now, I've been on and off with YouTube doing reviews on all types of like brands, mainly drugstore. My entire focus is on affordability when it comes to beauty. I don't believe that you have to break the bank in order to get a good beat, as I will show you guys here today. But my whole premise was on affordability for everyone, and you know, making beauty accessible to everyone and showing them, look, you don't have to break the bank to look good. I will help you out, because I was also learning in that process as well. So as I'm actively learning on all the trends and different guru tips and stuff, I was actively putting out content in the process of all that. So I'm giving you what's trendy in the now and teaching you how to like work with that. And I don't know, it was an outlet for me at the time. It allowed me to have something to do instead of focusing on my relationship at that time. So I found YouTube, and honestly, my first YouTuber was Jackie Ina, and I remember discovering her in my school's library. I was on the computer, just like, you know, chilling. I had some off time. I think it was like either like after school and I was waiting to get picked up, I think, or it was lunchtime. But basically, like, you know, I went to the library, just wanted to like browse the internet a little bit. And on the school computers, makeup content wasn't blocked. So I stumbled onto Jackie Ina. I typed in basically looking for like makeup for dark skinned girls or something like that. That was like my main focus. Sorry guys, I'm trying to focus and do these eyebrows. That was my main focus, was makeup for girls who looked like me. I didn't really care for anyone else. Like I figured, you know what, I'm already a senior. At that time I was a super senior. I was like 19, and I'm like, you know what, I don't know how to do makeup. It's time to like fast track this. I have no time to make mistakes. I have no time to try to work with shades that are not mine. You know, let me just learn what works for me and my face shape and my skin tone. And I found Jackie Ina, who was similar to my face shape at the time, a bit more of an oval kind of face, and you know, I believe our foundations were about the same shade, so that helped out for me and fast track all the oopsies with shade matching and all of that. I probably shouldn't color correct. I don't even have time like that, but we gonna try it out. I might even do a little blush effect with that to make it fast. I'm kind of doing a no makeup look right now and racy against the clock. But yeah, I found her in the school library and was like picking up all the tips and tricks. At the time I was selling makeup through Avon, and I wanted to learn how to apply it. So it had a double double barrel effect or whatever. Basically was able to teach me how to do makeup for myself as a, you know, growing young woman, and then also teach it to other women so I can market and sell my product better and actually know what I was talking about. Like I was actively doing market research at 19 years old. I'm like, you know what, let me get some product knowledge. At at 19 years old. So that's what I did. And she taught me a lot. Like, basically, like, she was just like my go-to girl. Then I went to Makeup Shayla and then all of them. However, I did take time off here and there with makeup and just with the whole YouTube thing, because it did take a lot out of me. Like, it financially took a lot out of me. I remember I was getting to the point where I was trying to stay up to date with all the upcoming collaborations and re-releases and all these different things and stuff, and I'm like, you know what, like, I gotta get it, you know. Even though my whole basis was on affordability, I like to blend it out with my finger for this part. Even though my whole basis was affordability, I was over here trying to keep up with like the releases and getting it at that time versus what is working for my budget at that time. And it was honestly exhausting, I'm not gonna lie, and I think that's what continued to burn me out. So I would come back, reintroduce myself, you do a review, and then get burnt out because I can't keep up with, you know, people who are being sent PR packages versus I'm actually going to the store and having to buy it. So I get it when the public gets it, and then I can try to make a review. But instead of accepting that being my reality, I ended up stressing myself out, and it was exhausting. To say the least, it was just exhausting, and it was just not financially good for me. Now that my little color correction is a bit blended out, I can work with it from here. I'm gonna go ahead and just set some powder over it. But yeah, it just got financially, you know, exhausting and emotionally exhausting, because I would take it out on myself when something wasn't good, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but also I procrastinate. So I would get frustrated with any type of technological issues. There we go. And I would end up just beating myself up for it, because I was doing it all on my own, and I didn't really like know too much of anything. I had to learn all on my own as I was going along, so it just stressed me out, the editing and the trying to stay on top of everything and scheduling, making sure that, you know, I make room for filming as well as being in school actively at the time and working actively at the time. It was a lot, y'all. I was stressed out. I had to bring out the second little vanity mirror, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and start concealing my eyebrows. In like 2022, I had a family accident happen. We had a family tragedy that really just shook me to my core. It was the passing of my ex, who, like I said at the beginning of the story, you know, I was doing YouTube as an outlet, you know, for myself, for that relationship at the time. We were very young, you know, and just leaving it at that, we were just young, you know, so with that comes a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot of mistakes were made. And in 2022, I received the call that he ended up taking his life, and that just rocked me to my core. And I felt like, or for me, I felt like at the time, I just took a step back from like being in my head so much and looking at what life truly was. And I was just like, you know what? Like, life is truly too short. Let me live it to the fullest, and let me not keep like taking it for granted and not living it to my potential. Like, I know what I'm capable of. I know that there's so much more that I have to offer. Let me not be ungrateful with this gift called life, you know. That was not the first death in my life that I experienced, but I think that one, since it was such a more personal tie that no one else, like, I couldn't really share that with my family in that way, you know. Like, I was dating that person, you know, and we were engaged and all that, you know. And I had to come to terms with my own grieving. And with that said, I felt like for me the lesson was, let me not take advantage of the life that I have. Later on that year, I also lost another friend who had a lot of health complications, and sweetest girl. But yeah, that all shook me to my core, gave me a major like rude awakening, and made me want to just live more purposely. So I quit certain jobs that I just felt like it no longer served my purpose. I went and worked and experienced or I went and got experience in jobs that align with my field of interest. I'm a psychology major, so I am grateful for the time that I did take away to like focus and kind of hone in on myself. And I feel like between 2022 to like 2024, or more so like end of 2023, but I more so like came to terms and accepted a lot in 2024. But from like 2022 to 2023, God just shook my entire life around, and I think brought me closer to him spiritually by removing me from a lot of distractions, a lot of toxic relationships, a lot of toxic workplaces, a lot of bad habits of mine, and allowed me to accept love for myself and accept love from others at the time, allowed me to surrender and be more vulnerable, allowed me to find my femininity. He took away a lot to give me so much more, and I'm grateful for that time period. Okay, so it's like 2:55 and I have to kind of speed this up, but let me put some bronzer on and then more concealer. But during this time, you know, thankfully that I have the partner that I have now, and he really helped be like my rock during this time. And I was a mess from like 2021 to 2023. I was a mess, okay? And he put up with a lot, and I'm very thankful. He was like my best friend during that time. He helped reveal to me who my best friends were, who were truly in my corner. It's gonna get loud. They're doing gardening across the street. Hopefully the audio doesn't pick it up too bad. But he was just like my ultimate best friend at the time. People who I thought were my friends just turned out to not be, and that's fine, you know? Like everyone has their thing, you know? But I just found out I wasn't as important to other people that I thought I was, but it's fine. So he picked up the slack and was my ultimate best friend. We've been friends since 2020. We've been dating since 2022, and it's been a journey, one that I am very grateful for, but one that I had to take time to step back and really value and see for myself, on my own, you know, timing. And I just needed a friend, and he gave me that when I was grieving, when I was hurting, when I was growing, and he's helped me grow and see myself in a different way as a person than I used to. I will say, like, my confidence really truly has helped boost with him, you know, my maturity, how I view myself. Like, he's just, they say when you're dating someone, they should be a mirror of yourself. So I will say, like, I've definitely learned a lot about myself with him, and I'm grateful. And also, it's like my best friend, so I get 2 in 1. He was honestly the first man who I felt comfortable and safe around romantically, and I felt like that was a very big thing for me. And I just knew, okay, green flag all the way. So we've been rocking together since 2020, but have been dating since 2022. While my concealer is setting, I'm just gonna do a light little eye look right here. I should honestly, actually, pause. Let me kind of clean up where I put my bronzer. Just kind of clean up here. Kind of gives me like a faux, kind of give you like a reverse contour in a way. That'll be cute. And I'll put a little bit of a highlight shade right there in the mix. We'll just leave it. So yeah, while that's all kind of setting, you can work on the eyes. So kind of fast forward, you know, I have the highlights, you know, growing, learning, finding love, all those good things, right? I feel like my spiritual awakening finally kicked in and hit me June 24th of 2023. I remember I was at a rave, and I remember having such conviction about this rave before even going. I was offered it as a birthday present from someone who honestly, like, I probably really shouldn't have trusted, but they reminded me of certain things in my life that I was attracted to, as far as like a person and, you know, being around that kind of like energy. And I let it just blind me for companionship, all for the sake of companionship, right? friendship is a very big one in this whole learning process, but all for the sake of companionship, I allowed someone who I honestly didn't trust into my life. And we went to this rave together, and I remember kind of leading up to that, I was already actively going back to church, actively seeking God at the time, wanting to, renew my mind, in that space. And so I remember having so much conviction over my outfit. It was not a typical rave outfit. It was my first rave. I've never been to one, didn't know what to expect, but I did know that the outfits are kind of risque. Get it how you live, but I wasn't gonna do that. So I chose just a cute, little, kind of like a it was like a head wrap tie thing, tube top, whatever, and cargo pants. And that was it for me. We went, and at first everything was all fine and cool and dandy, but I'm very spiritually sensitive. I used to consider myself to be an empath, but I don't know if I want to use that term. I'll just say God blessed me with great discernment, and my spirit was just ringing, alarms were just going off, something just felt heavy in the presence of being there with that person I didn't trust, in the presence of drugs and alcohol and loud music, and let's just be honest, more secular activity was going on, just all of that. And it was next to the Queen Mary, which is an active spiritual battleground or portal, whatever you want to call it. It was too much for my spirit. And I remember just getting settled into the vibe of it, and then something told me this is LA, get used to it. In my head, a spiritual voice in my head that was not my own. I don't know how to explain it. It told me this is LA, get used to it. This is basically what we do. We allow ourselves to give in. We just totally indulge, and we get overcome and overpressed by spirits of of the enemy, I would like to say. So that's drugs, adultery, major gluttony, intoxication, all of that was just basically gonna be the norm. This thing told me that's what it is here, either you get used to it or get lost, kind of thing. And I'm I'll get lost. So that's what I did. Instantly I decided to leave. And as I was leaving, I was seeing people overdosing, seeing people who, in the midst of all this party and highlight and good time, they were literally having the worst trip of their life, going through real spiritual warfare, and no one noticed them. And the corners that they were in were dark, and I don't know, I just feel it very much so gave this is not where I need to be, so let me excuse myself. And I ran about there. My friend was, or friend at the time was, running after me, chasing me, or following closely behind me. All I knew was keep my distance from her. Don't allow her to touch me. Don't stop for her. I remember I told her I'm leaving before I took off. And I called, who's my boyfriend now, but my friend at the time, I called my boyfriend and was hey, I come get me, and he instantly was where are you? And he clocked out, came, got me, and I just remember leaving out of the festival and going to the closest hotel, where whatever building was the closest public building. I need to get there. I can charge my phone, I can talk to people, I can call people if my phone goes off. I won't get kicked out. I feel a fast food place wasn't necessarily ideal, but I'm whatever's open and is a major chain and is public, I'll go there. And I know it'll be easy for someone to come get me and track my location. That's where I'll wait. My friend at the time ended up getting picked up by her mom, so it worked out for her. She ended up coming back the next day. She had no problem, and you know what, that's fine. This is my spiritual journey, it's not hers. So she came back, to party the next day. I ended up staying home, and I realized, what, God is calling me closer to him and making me choose. Do I want to do the world, or do I want to be with him? And I chose to follow him. And I was baptized September 24th of 2023. And I feel the number 24 is very, very significant. At my church, 2024 was the year of open doors, and literally so many blessings were just pouring out. God was pouring out favor in me and my family's lives in 2024. I'm forever grateful that I took that step spiritually, you know, acknowledging Christ and spiritually like aligning myself with what I feel God is calling me to work on in my life. Conviction works differently for everyone. I just know that he called my attention to remove myself from that party scene, you know, to remove my love for alcohol, or like my taste for alcohol, to really just detoxify, because your girl may have been dealing with a Jezebel spirit. We'll talk about that another time, but that's what I was called to work on. It's 3:08 and my friends are like, homegirl, where are you? Like, I'm already over 30 minutes late, but we're not gonna talk about it. I am just gonna go ahead and finish up with a little eye makeup. Nothing too heavy. I'll just do some brown eyeliner or brown shadow on my eyeline. I'm doing close up for this one. Dust this off. Any little bit of powder that I have. Kind of clearing it up. I told my friends like 20 minutes. The video won't last for another 20 minutes, but that's what I told them. But just give me time to fully get ready with whatever last minute stuff I gotta do. That should be good. Anything that's kind of dead and dull, setting powder or setting spray will definitely bring back to life. I think what I can do now from here, I'll do my cheeks. I'll double up on the blush. This is the Baby Got Blush by Essence. Little cream blush right there. It's so cute. Like, it's so cutesy. Oh, hopefully you guys can see it. Yeah, like there. Definitely have been using it. But I like to take a little bit and then sometimes I use a beauty sponge to apply it, but I'll just use my fingertips for this one to control pigmentation, because I will double it up with a powder at the end. But yeah, hopefully that's a good little update on my life. Right now my focus is on doing all things that make me happy and totally exploring all of my hobbies and interests. I definitely want to showcase more beauty and lifestyle on this channel and incorporate Christianity into it. So if that's not your thing, I mean, maybe stick around and give it a chance if you want, but I mean, if it's not your thing, I totally respect that. And you know, sorry to see you go, but this is my journey. And yeah, those of you who are willing to stay, thank you for rocking with me. Going in with the Beauty Creations blush in Wish You Knew. It's so cutesy. It's like this cute little compact. My mirror is dirty, but it's so cute. Let's see. Get close. Kind of gorgeous. Just kind of lightly kind of like dust it on. I love blush when I do like a no makeup look or no foundation look. Absolutely love it. And you can always tone it down by just going over it with like some powder, and it'll like blend out all so seamlessly. With my makeup, I kind of wanted to match my bag and shoes. Burgundy Loungefly mini bag. My cute No Boundaries boots. Got these from Walmart. They were $7.98, y'all. The best deal ever. You can add just a little pop highlight right there. My tear ducts. Kind of widen out my eyes or brighten up my eyes. Maybe put a little bit. The tip and the bridge of my nose. Kind of like to enhance the contour effect. Hey guys, so I forgot to show you guys my finished look and outfit. Like, it was so cute. Barnes & Noble was such a vibe. We looked at vinyls, we looked at books. Your girl was definitely fitting the vibe. I felt so cute, so cozy, giving soft girl, giving very demure. Full outfit reveal. Let me pop up with a close-up of my makeup for you guys too. Oh, I'm so cute.